I don't have time to. You probably could figure out what your blank answer to that statement is. For me, my list of excuses were these here. Well, after months of excuses, I finally found a way to actually make time for those things while being a full-time college student and working in a part-time job. After reading this book here, I found out that we can intentionally prioritize what matters to us and feel less powerless in our days. So I'll share with you guys the strategies that have been working for me personally. Your highlight is a single activity you need to choose to protect and prioritize on your calendar. It starts with asking, what do I want to be the highlight of my day? When considering our highlight, we can use these 3 components to help us. After figuring out your highlight, you need to protect it at all costs. These are the tips that have worked for me personally. Time blocking. I reserve 60 to 90 minutes for my highlight in the mornings because that's when I felt most energized, and it also allowed me to feel accomplished throughout the day. Nothing would be allowed to disturb my highlight time. Unless my mom bribed me with some food. I'll drop anything for food. Flake it till you make it. If I find myself falling behind on my calendar or highlight, I will try to postpone some other things on my calendar. Obviously, I don't recommend you doing this too often or else you'll have the reputation of a flaker. Nobody likes a flaker. That's why I use this as a last resort or try to give as early of a notice as much as possible. Nighttime preparation. I can't stress how important it is to prepare your day the night before. I have a nighttime ritual which consists of me planning my meals, preparing my clothes, time blocking for the next day, journaling about the day, and shutting down tech to read before bed. This is the ability to get into the flow state or stay laser focused on your highlight. The way to do this is to set barriers against distractions that might hinder your highlight. One of the steps is taking control of mankind's worst distractions: the phone, the TV, and our email inbox. Phone. Turn off notifications. No more ding ding, just peace and quiet. Clear your home screen. I only place the apps I use on a regular basis on the front screen. My home screen is cleaner than my actual home. Leave devices behind. During my walks outside, I do not take my phone with me. So if I don't answer, it means either I'm taking a walk or a killer is after me. TV. Make TV a sometimes treat. I started only allowing TV with friends, family, or on self-care days. Cancel streaming subscriptions. I don't have any TV subscriptions or channels, just Netflix, my kryptonite. Email inbox. Be slow to respond. I usually give it 1 to 2 days before I respond. I mark the email as unread and go back to it later. Schedule email time and deal with it at the end of the day. I schedule and time block email time only for 12 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. All other times is a no-no. Finding flow. Create a deadline. I have a calendar that keeps tracks of all my projects and I also set an early deadline. This makes sure I get myself together. Play a laser soundtrack. I have a productive playlist that consists of classical music and lo-fi music, or both. I'm in love with this one in particular now. Check it out later if you want. Use a visible timer. I like to use the app Forest. A tree dies if I give up on a focus session. This is a motivator. I don't want to be a plant killer. I've killed enough already in my home. Here's an example of my reflection process. Number 1, observe what's going on. I've been applying this process by first journaling about my day. I recap my day and go in depth about my successes and failures in the day. For example, one time I journaled that I had success in sleeping earlier, but I failed to exercise. Number 2, guess why things are happening the way they are. I make predictions about the reason behind those things. For example, my success in sleeping earlier could be due to my shutdown routine, and my failure to exercise could be that I overbooked my schedule. Number 3, experiment to test your hypothesis. I repeat my successes, which was my shutdown routine, but I try to fix my failures and mistakes by lessening the load on my work schedule. Number 4, measure the result and decide if you were right. I repeat these steps by journaling on my day to see if I was right or not, and to decide my next action steps. I know I threw a lot of information at you guys out there. If you're feeling an error in your brain, then it's better to just choose 1 or 3 tips and start from there rather than attempting to do it all at once. Remember that some of these tips that work for me may not necessarily work for you, and that's totally fine. Everyone is different. If you guys want more tips on this, I highly suggest for you to read the book or check out Dan Silverstreet's summary here. Don't forget to check out my other videos, finding work-life balance or dealing with stress, whichever you want. Thanks for watching. Let's keep learning and growing.